Welcome to the Greenway Outdoors podcast. The Greenway Outdoors is also an internationally syndicated TV show on Pursuit Channel and Wild TV. You are now tuned into our weekly podcast hosted by executive producer Kyle Green, production coordinator Jeff Hutchinson, director AJ Beadle, and creative producer Ryan Parks. We live in a world where our natural resources are almost solely protected by funds raised by hunters and fishermen, with over 60% of those funds coming from white males over the age of 55. The Greenway Outdoors team has set out on a mission to create content that would inspire millennials, Generation Z, and new sportsmen and women to get out, hunt, fish, and contribute towards conservation and the betterment of our planet. Welcome to the Greenway Outdoors. Hello and welcome to episode 41 of the Greenway Outdoors podcast. I'm Kyle.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Ryan.
Happy birthday, AJ. AJ? Today's AJ's birthday, and he's out celebrating. He, too, is 41. No, I'm just kidding. He's not.
He's actually a decade younger than that. 31.
Yeah, 31. Old man. He's the old guy of the group. That's why he's the director, and he yells at everyone. He gets to pick where we eat all the time.
He spanks us. No,
that's
maybe
just
not you guys.
No, he doesn't.
You guys, you know what's weird is you guys always share a room. Is there something that...
I just do what I'm told.
Yeah, you're disciplined and disciplined accordingly.
Yes.
So, I'm really excited about this podcast because we're going to use it as an opportunity to talk about some topics that Ryan's been wanting to hit on, but also to talk about all of the upcoming trips that we have and all of the different hunting and fishing episodes we're going to be filming. And we got some exciting ones coming up, but Ryan, I want to give you the floor first. There were some things that you wanted to talk about.
So I have two things.
Air your grievances.
Air my grievances. So a friend of mine who goes
already unbelievable, right, guys?
to Northern Michigan University. That's up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
Is it a girl?
No, this is a boy.
Oh, I knew you had a girlfriend up there.
A friend that's a girl.
Excuse me. You guys are official? She finds out this way? No, just kidding.
You hear on the door.
She's like, I love you,
too. You get out of here.
So he also has property. His family has property up there, and I guess he's baiting for a bear to go bear hunting up there.
Yeah.
And they bought like a 50-gallon drum of caramel.
Along with everyone else,
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And like
Also, where is that 50-gallon drum?
That's what I said. I said, have you had some of it? He's like, yeah, it's actual caramel. You can just take cupfuls of it and eat it.
You know how many apples you would need to eat that caramel?
A 50-gallon drum? That's a lot.
None. Do you know how many caramel apple suckers you would need to enhance with that caramel?
How many hands? One hand.
So he's using that caramel to bait for a bear, and I was thinking about it, like...
I take it it's got, normally with those, they got like a little hole in it, so the bear can only get a little bit at a time.
No, I don't know how they're doing it, actually.
Open lid, actually. You notice? Oh, God.
I think they have like one of those little kiddie pools that they just dump it in and they swim around in it.
He spilled it. Would have never guessed this.
So I don't know how he's doing it, but I was thinking about baiting animals.
With bears, they normally have just little holes. Bear can only get a little bit out at a time, so he keeps coming back.
And this got me thinking about baiting animals to come in, and it's like you're training them to come back to that spot, so when hunting season comes, you just
pop them.
And I don't know, to me, it's like on previous podcasts I've talked about how like tree stand hunting to me is like when you're hunting for deer, it's not really, to me, like hunting, it's like it's just waiting. How long can you wait? It doesn't take as much skill as actually like stalking a deer, like spotting it from fields and fields away if you're in the right area, or understanding their patterns because you've been out there studying it and tracking them down and then shooting a deer.
Well, I got mixed feelings on that. One, the science behind baiting effectability. Is that a word?
Effectiveness?
Effectiveness. That's what it was. Baiting effectiveness. With deer specifically, there's a lot of arguments over whether that just trains them to come feed at night, and I'll go into that in a second. But to your tree standpoint, I think it's different skills. And that would be the sense of like, number one, it gets you a lot closer to a deer, so normally a lot of archery stuff. So that's there. You move the slightest, and that deer's gone. The patience is a skill in itself, but also pattern.
Yeah, no.
Like in order to put your tree stand in the right spot,
you got
to know that deer's. You have to assess the situation. You're looking at trails. You're looking at different sign and determining that this makes the best sense for this deer to come through and patterning them. So it's almost like you spend so much more time when you're a tree stand hunter figuring out everything you need to know before the hunt. And then once the hunt happens, like you said, you are just sitting there waiting. It's not as athletic. That's for sure.
No, I don't disagree. There's a lot of skill that goes into it. But for me,
it doesn't feel the same.
Yeah, I guess it just doesn't. That doesn't intrigue me because I've done that before. I've like plenty. But to me, it's not as fun. Like I've done it both ways, where I've kind of.
No one can ever say both ways without us laughing. Continue.
I gave him the eyes. Like, is that what you wanted to say?
Now I lost my train of thought.
To me,
we made a weird joke.
Yeah,
it seems like
it's 2019,
they're
guys.
kind of similar, but with tree stand and other stand hunting, you're just doing all the effort is beforehand.
Yeah,
and then whereas stalking, all the effort is like a day or two before, or the day of.
Well, I mean, you could do it the same way as you the stand hunting or blind hunting. It's just you're doing it differently. In maybe you're just sitting down in the woods, propped up against a tree, seeing if anything comes by or cameras or something. And to me, stalking an animal rather than sitting in a tree, tree stand hunting does take skill, like you just said. But to me, I feel like it's just not enough game. Like the frustration, the frustration's the fun part.
Yeah.
Well, trust me, sit there for 9 hours. The frustration.
Oh yeah,
yeah. But like,
the challenge is there. Sitting there for 9 hours.
I feel like moving around. I feel more productive.
I would say that stalking and hunting is very checkers-like, and I would say tree stand hunting is your chess, because you're like putting all those pieces. It's more of a strategy, and then sitting and waiting versus checkers. It's like you see it and you go for it, kind of thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I think it's probably
it goes both ways.
I think it's probably your personality and age, and I would agree too. I think a lot of tree stand and
I'm not talking down on it. I'm just saying personally for me,
I feel attacked.
It sounded like you were.
It's perfect. I mean, that's perfect for like an old man who can barely walk and can hardly function. That's the good way to do it. No,
remember when Bill shot his deer on the show and Bill's like 90 and his chair broke from underneath him and he shot and fell and then he couldn't get up by himself. So the whole time he didn't know whether he got the deer or not.
It took him 2 minutes to get up. And when he finally got up,
the deer was
laying there.
Thank God.
Like, whew.
Were people with him?
No.
He's by himself doing that?
The funny thing is, so that he's got his blind and then he's got his little open area where he shoots, and he drives in his car.
One of the little dog houses too, so it's a pop-up.
Literally up to the blind, not like 50 yards back, so that maybe there's some elimination of scent or something, so they can't see the car. You could see the car.
He got out of the car.
He might as well just shoot from the car. I don't think that's a thing you're allowed to do.
I think it's illegal, but yeah.
Maybe if the car's off. I don't know. But they
make blinds for tops of cars.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
This episode is brought to you.
But he drove his truck up to the blind, got out, sat in, opened up the windows. A buck was there. He was getting all situated. That buck went by. And then by the time he got his gun up and stuff like that, another buck came in right in front of him. He shot that, and his chair broke from underneath him, and it took him forever to get up, and he didn't even know
the luck that occurred that day. he sees one. Oh, I better get ready. Oh, it's gone. Oh, that's okay, because here comes another one.
Bill does the thing where I think part of it, too, on that first one was he wasn't sure that it had 3 points to a side. It's in an APR zone.
Yeah.
But it's cool, because Bill's an older guy, and since I've been hunting, Bill has said every year at deer camp that was his last year. But every year he comes up.
He goes back out?
He goes again.
That's cool.
And he's had different... He's diabetic, and he's got... I don't know why I would talk about his health issues, but he's a great guy. He's super nice. And he's like the grandfather of the group, but
That's
he
cool.
still goes out and fishes by himself. Like, we're talking like on rivers and stuff. He's a cool dude.
Yeah.
Bill's cool.
He's got a pipe that he smokes that is carved with his face on it.
It actually makes me uncomfortable, but because it's so well done.
Really?
It's scary how he goes like this, and it just looks like a miniature him.
You know that it's Bill's pipe
Yeah.
for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
There's no rhyme or reason.
question.
So up there in the APR zone, northwest Michigan, it's historically baiting has been kind of the thing on the stands and different properties and stuff like that. We've done some food plots and stuff, but basically everyone goes up. It is the traditional Michigan gun season. On the 14th, you put out some bait. On the 15th, you hope to shoot a deer. And if a big one walks by, you say you're a good hunter, but all you did was really just shoot the target that came in front of you. And that's deer hunting.
Everybody saves up their vacation time for those extra 3-4 days.
And that's the reality, and that's the part of, that's what I grew up in too. And a lot of that is out of necessity of two things. Number one, the year 2019 and all the way back to 2000 when I've been hunting, is our schedules as a society are so crazy that if you get a week of vacation or 2 weeks vacation from your boss, that's considered like a big deal. And then if you have a wife, half of that's going to get used up immediately, and then you're lucky to scrape by with a couple days. And you hope the 15th is near a weekend, so it kind of works out to make it easier on you. That's one. And number two, they don't have time to scout, and they don't have time to do this and do that. And a lot of the people that are against baiting often say things like, it doesn't take a hunter to bait, and it's not hunting, it's just shooting and harvesting and this and that and everything else. But there's a couple debates to it, and I'm not clear.
That was kind of the point I was going to, we kind of rabbit trailed there to the tree stand thing.
No way.
Yeah. But that was kind of like what I was thinking about, like how I felt, because I've never really thought about it before, but like how I feel about training an animal to make sure it's there at the right time. Like, I don't,
and that's,
like, it's like, I don't know. It's
that's
like
where the science
a little
comes
kid
in,
at like the little kids at church. There was this one old lady who'd always give them like a piece of gum. They knew every Sunday they could go to that lady and get a piece of gum. Well, what if that one lady decide one day she wanted to beat them up? Well, they'd be right there on Sunday.
Well, that's
like kind of
really,
like
really dark. What happened to you?
I was the little kid.
I don't have a problem with like going out on the 14th, putting up some bait, and then going out on the 15th, because at that point, you don't even know they're going to find it. But at that point, if a deer comes into your view, comes into your shooting lane or wherever it is that you're hunting, you know that it is going to stop there. It gives you an extra 10 seconds up to
10 minutes,
45 minutes. I've seen some sitting there and it's like, I can't shoot you. You're adorable, but move along. But, the people that do it where they do it for months in advance and they're trained to do that, like, you might as well name it too. Like what?
Yeah, it's weird. It takes away like the, like.
But here's the thing.
I don't know.
What do you think? Okay, so let's say we go the way of getting rid of bait, and let's go in. Let's walk down that.
It's happening. So.
We're here.
We're doing it.
But let's walk down that of like there's no baiting. What do you think that does for hunter participation? So when Ted Nugent was on our podcast, the one thing he was shouting about was that he believed that the DNR was the number one cause of hunter elimination.
Apathy.
Yeah.
Okay, the number's going down.
Yeah.
I am so nervous about our duck draw. I am so nervous. I just thought of that because I thought of DNR and I just got real nervous. I hope one of us gets both. I picked it. So we did a managed waterfowl hunt this year where we put in for like the different managed waterfowl areas in Michigan. If you get your name drawn, then you get to go on opening day for the lottery and stuff like that.
Total random lottery.
Yeah.
Just purely by chance.
And here's what I'm saying. I'm guessing that this year, because we have like 11 people that are in it, that if they get picked, that means we get to go. I'm guessing, because we haven't gotten drawn in 4 years, 5 years, something like that, I'm guessing that like 3 of us will get drawn this year, because that would be annoying and hard to deal with. So I'm guessing that's what happens.
Because we can't just one of us go with the
Right.
group. Like, we'd have to split it up weird.
Right.
We'd have to, you know. Then you got to coordinate other people going hunting, but they're not on the show, but maybe they are, but they're not. And then
yeah, like what is Jeff's dad gonna do if he gets drawn and we can't go with him because we're going because you got drawn?
Yeah.
then what is that situation? Anyhow, all the way back. So let's circle back. I'm just pumped about it and nervous.
oh, you know what? You go there and you're like, hey, I got a spot. $20. Anybody else want in?
Oh God.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, that's probably legal. Anyhow, back to the baiting. So let's say we got rid of baiting completely, and Ted Nugent said that he believed that the DNR was the reason why a lot of people are getting out of it was stupid rules like this one, is what he said with the baiting. When you don't give people the opportunity on their property to succeed, you're likely getting rid of people that will buy licenses to raise money towards the conservation of the species. Because let's say, like I said, that schedule, you got 2 kids that have soccer. You got one with baseball because you actually had a boy, and then this is a good shot at soccer. But then you've got all these different activities and your wife and stuff like that you've got to take care of. And then what happens when you've got like 3 or 4 days and you're like, oh man, you can't bait, you haven't been able to go up to the piece of property you get to hunt or anything like that. Your likelihood of buying a license is going to be start to trickle down because of that.
Yeah.
And I find this with I've done a lot of research in the last few months too on the difference between trophy hunting groups and the actual what was the organization that we talked about on the one podcast with deer?
Quality.
Yeah, quality deer management. Yeah, those are 2 vastly different things, and the 2 people that I interviewed were for trophy hunting, not for QDMA. They 100% were misrepresented by the people we interviewed. Misrepresented, which aggravates me a bit. But anyhow, I don't want to go into all that. But the point is, when you have antler point restrictions and you have bait restrictions and all these restrictions, the people that hunt 7-8 weekends a year that are the big proponents for a lot of these things, you listen, you won't have your rights if enough people aren't involved. Because if you look at what happened in California, we just talked about it, there wasn't enough people involved in fur trapping, right? So because there wasn't enough people involved in fur trapping, what happened? It got banned because it became a deficit as far as funding. So then people are like, we're not going to subsidize our tax dollars in order to pay so you guys can trap when we don't agree with trapping. Boom, it's gone. Well, if you keep making your rules because you're the alpha hunter who's all amazing and only shoots 18 points and above, and 6-year-old bucks are the only thing you should take.
Because you've got the time and the resources to be able to do that.
You're alienating the people that don't have that. And in this day and age, that group is going to be bigger than the other one. So you have to do what you have to do to get people involved in the outdoors to even the small amounts that they can to raise money for licenses. And it's for those reasons that, deer are extremely social animals. Very, very social animals. They're licking each other. They're kissing each other. They're always everything all the time. They're always.
There's a parade in my backyard almost every day, and I've seen them do some things.
Jeffrey, I'll tell you about the birds and the bees later. He's not hurting her. Well, he is, but not like.
Whoa! Why is he? That's dirty stuff comes out of there. Why is he doing?
Why is he? Oh God. Anyhow, the point is, deer are very social animals, and you can't tell me that hunting next to an apple tree is that much different than scattering apples to bait.
If you're making a pile, then okay, you could they're worried about disease and stuff. But if you properly bait, you throw some stuff around. You do your 2-gallon bucket?
Yeah. I
only ever bring a couple, but
right,
like an actual whole bucket of apples, you dump them out. As long as you spread them out, they're fine.
Right. Now the science so I'm against the baiting ban. I don't think it's going to make any difference in chronic wasting disease whatsoever, and I think it was a pretty ignorant.
I agree with that
thing to.
I don't if you I'm not saying that it shouldn't be around. I'm just saying it's back to the tree stand hunting thing. For me, it's just the game of it.
Right.
To me, that's how it is. Not that the government should get involved and get rid of it.
Right.
Because, however, if you're new to hunting, of course you want to be able to, you want it to be good the first few years you do it. So do it however you feel fit.
Yeah. And when you're older, when you can't necessarily do the stalk, you want to be able to still go out and hunt.
It's just I like the pursuit and the chance of it much more, but I understand completely what you're saying where maybe you don't have enough time, so that's what you need to do, and that's completely okay. It's just I had never really thought about it before and how I would like to do it.
Right. When you look at, let's say if you broke Michigan the hand up into let's say 3 pieces, the top 2, so you'd be looking at that and down. For the most part, from here down is a grid of properties that are privately owned. Mm-hmm. There's little.
It's like farm.
Right. Mm-hmm. And most of the people that actually hunt in Michigan have their 40 acres that they get to hunt, and they do what they can to make their property as attractive to deer as possible so that deer will come to their property. Mm-hmm. And if they don't do the things, the food plots and the baiting and the different things like that, the likelihood that the deer will go to the property that will will increase and their likelihood of success goes down. As the likelihood of success goes down, then you have the uncomfortable situation where people start to lose interest and then they don't get a deer for 3 years. Their wife is like, why do you even bother? Blah, 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 blah. And then it just goes into that spinning spiral of downness of people not buying as many hunting and fishing licenses. And it may not, trust me, stopping baiting for deer hunting might not eliminate a vast amount of licenses year one. I'm just saying that as you implement these laws and you make things so difficult for people and you make people so nervous with all these new rules and constant movement and this and that.
Yeah, every time I hear of a new law, I freak out like whoa, like what?
Where did you get to make this decision?
Well, not even that. Then I have to I want to re-review everything to make sure I'm not doing anything wrong.
Right. And don't get me wrong, you should follow the rules and the DNR is a necessary thing. All I'm saying is very, very, very provable incorrect ideas like this one in the name of chronic wasting disease is silly.
Yeah.
When you've got, a lot of the decisions that they make and the rules that they put in place are because of science for populations, and that makes sense. I totally get that. But when we've got more deer in the United States than we have ever had in recorded history.
Right.
And we're making these rules that seem counterintuitive, like we've beaten everybody's heads. 60% of licenses are sold to white males over the age of 55.
I don't know that you've ever said it, though.
You've always said it, because that's your thing you say.
Yeah.
But that means that the population, the main group of people that hunt, and a lot of people that consider themselves hunters only hunt literally 1 or 2 weeks a year. They do deer hunting, and that's
If that.
And that's what they hunt.
Look at our hunt club.
And as people get older and it's harder for them to do all the things that are required for hunting, maybe sitting in a tree stand that's been there for 15, 20 years, or not, maybe a regular stand, not a tree stand that's been there. Check your tree stand. But they're sitting in a stand. That's what they're capable of doing at this point in their lives. And you take that away from them. All you're doing is speeding up this thing that we're worried about, where all these older people are slowly going to get out of hunting because they're either old, they die, whatever the case, and we have to replenish that. And you're kind of cutting us off early. Like we need those people to be interested in hunting while we're trying to get the new generations involved.
It's not even just the fact that getting the new generation involved, that you made a good point I never really thought of. The older people, which is miraculous, right, Ryan, that Jeffrey did?
I know.
But the point is, it's probably because he quoted me first and then that carried over into what he was saying.
Your inspiration.
But that being said, when you look at the whole thing, the older people have been hunting over bait for the last 40 years, Bill, for instance. Mm-hmm. Now, Bill's still going to go up and hunt, and he's going to go in the blind, and I'm sure there's going to be a food plot where he was, and that'll be fine.
He'll nap and smoke his pipe, and it'll be fine.
But I just think it would have been so simple to have bait explained where it had to, if you were going to bait, it would be spread out over this much property, this much space, and it had to be this spaced out with this many. They had no problem telling us how many gallons we could have and this and that. And then essentially it becomes a food plot, and you're kind of keeping that the possibility for that. The other thing is for business. There's a lot of companies and gas stations and stuff that relied on bait as something they sold to help them, especially up north economies and things like that too. So all in all, I'm pretty against the bait ban. But when
we know several farmers that have basically only grew deer corn for that specific time of year, and that's one of the businesses that they did. So that's kind of
gone. They did give it 1 year. It would have gone into effect last year, but they waited a year to allow those businesses to sell off what they had to try and deal with the repercussions of that. Was how they dealt with that. But it's like, all right, you get to make money. You get a job for 1 more year, Ryan, and that should be good enough. When we come back, we're going to talk about the upcoming trips we have and pick Ryan's brain for a couple more topics. Stay tuned. You're a hunter, and because you hunt, you're the world's greatest conservationist. You're a huntervationist. You do more for wildlife and conservation than anyone. The Sportsman Alliance protects hunters from the animal rights movement. When the Sportsman Alliance gets involved in court cases or legislation, hunters win. Conservation wins. Become a huntervationist today and join the Sportsman Alliance like we did to help protect your rights against the animal rights movement.
Hot Shot Outfitters in Port Hope, Michigan is the destination for whitetail deer, crow, waterfowl, rabbit, predator, and turkey hunts. We have cabins, over 30,000 non-fenced acres, and a passion for delivering fair chase hunts to you and your family. Reserve your hunt at hotshotoutfitters.com today.
When your hands are busy, your mind gets right. When your hands are busy, you can't point fingers and complain that life isn't fair. When your hands are busy, you're serving your family, your friends, and your community. When your hands are busy, you show everyone what you're capable of. The all-new Ram 1500, Motor Trend's 2019 Truck of the Year.
Hello and welcome back to the Greenway Outdoors podcast. All right, so we've got some really cool things coming up and some big announcements for 2020. Unfortunately, I can't say any of those today, but I can talk about the really cool episodes that we have upcoming that we're going to be filming. So
It's awesome.
number one, to start with something a little bit more plain, we're going to be doing a goose hunt coming up. So we've got a couple different options on where we can go. I was actually talking to our friends over at Times Up Outdoors today on the way to here, and we were talking about a couple different pieces of property that they have, and they've got birds on pretty consistently. And with the goose hunting, I love it. You're doing think of it like you're in a layout blind, which is basically a big camouflage sleeping bag. And you've got decoys surrounding around you. You know, you've got your flags, calls,
your snacks,
cold pops. No, we're all getting in shape. But that being said,
veggies and water and something else stupid probably.
And sugar-free Red Bulls because we're still human. So we've it's so cool when you see those group of geese come in and they want to come into your decoys and they cup up and they're flying in and they're about to land right in front of you and you bust out of that blind and you're just gunning them from the sky and
they go, oh shoot,
and birds are dropping out of the sky. So we're gonna do that in Michigan, and then after that for the next episode we're gonna be going sturgeon fishing.
I've never done that.
No, so
I know you've got kind of a family history on that, but I've never even attempted.
Yeah, so the guy, Mitch and Brandon. I said Rich. Mitch and Brandon.
That's Rich.
Yeah, from the Reaching Limits Outdoors.
Yeah.
They're also good friends of ours, and we've done some fishing with them and stuff like that. They're like sturgeon fishing experts, and they know where they are, where to get them. Sturgeon's a prehistoric, massive fish. You can catch them like 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't even know how big they get, but they're 7, 8, 10 foot long fish.
They're big fish.
They're massive.
For fresh water.
The average was 7.
Yeah.
For full grown.
Yeah, they get big.
They're big. Yeah.
And I'm really, really, really excited to hook
Is it
into
the
one of those
biggest
monsters.
fish for freshwater Midwest fish?
I would say
I'd have to imagine.
Maybe.
it's that or the muskie, right?
No, it's got to be that because muskies don't get that big.
Muskies
get big. But
Yeah,
It's like 7 foot. That's a big fish.
that's a big fish.
That's 84 inches. I don't think
muskies
get that big.
I think I know that existed at one point. I would say that. Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
It's funny too because when you see that, you think shark, right? When you hear that, even when you look at the body, but then they got these circle mouths underneath the bottom.
Little suckers.
Yeah, and
They got the little pointy kind of
pony or nose, but the mouth is underneath like a
plecostomus.
like a stingray. Did you have to use your made up word?
I was thinking,
dude.
The suckerfish that everybody gets for their fish tank, a plecostomus.
Is that what those are called?
It's a plecostomus.
I've never heard that in my life.
No,
No.
really?
Yeah.
I think they call them plecos or
Plecos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I would recognize.
Plecostomus.
Yeah. My dad, we had a pretty cool fish tank growing up. I was going to make
It
fun
had
of
an iguana in it.
That was later. He ate all the
Put
fish.
your iguana in the fish tank?
They can only swim for 8 hours. That I can confirm.
I can tell you that.
Exactly 8 hours, and then they quit swimming. No, I'm just kidding.
There's a, what do you call that? It's not an aquarium because aqua means water. Terrarium.
Terrarium.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
Yeah. Okay.
So they are basically use big globs of worms and minnows and stuff like that, and you let it sit on the bottom, and they'll be cruising by, and they'll just suck it up in their mouths, and you let the line go for a little bit, and then you wait until it's in their mouth, set and good, set that hook, and then boom, pull like you've never pulled before, and then you're on for a fight of a lifetime, probably about an hour fight a lot of times to get them up.
Cool.
Do you think it will be harder than fighting a paddlefish that you've snagged?
In the tail.
And then trying to bring up, because that's the hardest fish I've ever had to fight.
I think you'd have to argue a couple different ways. Number one, we're snagging. So you're using the ultimate line, the ultimate hooks, the ultimate everything without, although we did break
I still broke
two poles. I broke another pole. I broke one on a fish.
Yeah.
And you broke one being an idiot, right?
No, I broke one on a fish also.
I think...
Oh, yours was a fish. Mine was
just snapped.
Yeah.
Like, weirdly, just right over.
Yeah. Good. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm assuming we snagged on something.
Anyhow.
I don't know.
That's really not important. Yeah. But paddlefish you're snagging, and they're huge, and anything you snag is going to be a bigger fight than something you don't. Sure. But with the sturgeon, you can't...
They're even bigger, though.
You can't just yank on the line. You have to... You can't muscle them. Yeah. You have to work with them.
I will struggle with that.
And we're in a heavy current river channel.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. A 45-hour fight is something that can tire you out pretty good. They're big. The thing is, we have to figure out what to do on that for cooking or...
Let's just eat it.
No, I think they're only a slot that you can keep, and there's a certain season, and it's like pretty frowned on if you keep them.
Oh, we're going to do catch and release?
Yeah, most likely.
But it's like just because we always want to catch a sturgeon.
Maybe we can buy meat.
Maybe.
I know, but then you're encouraging the eating of them. How could we?
You can eat, like in other places, they're like a lot more plentiful. I know that.
Squeeze out some eggs like toothpaste.
Jim from
have some caviar
from Deer Camp did some kind of a fishing trip in like Washington.
It was Oregon.
Was it Oregon? And they caught like a lot of them. I think they're a lot more
prevalent.
Yeah, out there. So maybe they eat them out there. I don't know. I thought we could do like a lot of things.
I don't really like eating 55-year-old fish, anyways.
Yeah, we could do like the taxidermy, like they do, where you take a picture of it, you know how long it is.
I won't talk to you about it.
They do a recreation of it. Then you get to release the fish, and you get to keep like a thing that is your trophy from that.
I'd always know. Jeff and I argue about this all the time. So you can get a fish mounted, but what a lot of times you do is you'll get all the measurements of the fish, take pictures of it, and then they'll make a fake mount for you.
Yeah.
And
so
then
the colors.
Yeah. You can't even call it a mount.
It doesn't fade. It's the same. No. It's almost identical as a deer mount. Because a deer mount, all that is just the skin.
That's enough for me.
They pull it over.
That would be every mount ever, by the way.
The shape,
Every mount ever is just the skin. There's no brain in any of those. You understand? Yeah. It's not the whole deer. The butt isn't on the other side of the wall.
So for the fish thing, all it is just painting the outside. You don't want the skin from the fish.
I do.
But if you're not going to eat it, then that's just a waste.
If I'm getting a fish mounted, I want it to be the fish. I have no interest in some fake-looking fish.
I have no problem with getting mounted.
You guys are both talking to me like I'm going to intervene. I want
you to pick a side.
I won't do it.
A deer that you get mounted, you can still eat the majority of the deer. It's not being wasted. And you get a trophy or a mount, whatever you want to call it, with a fish that you can let go and have a full body mount that you get to keep.
We've agreed on like everything for 25 years.
Why wouldn't
Couldn't be farther away on this.
I know I've heard this argument a few times.
It comes up like every ride, every drive, everywhere we're going to go somewhere.
Hey, sometimes you want to be right. Sometimes you want to be a monster. It just works out that this is one
I
of
have
the things
no interest in putting a fake fish on my wall and calling it a mount because it's not a mount. It is you have to come up with a different word.
It's art.
That's a good one.
And I don't like art.
I hate art.
Always have.
I have a TV show. I hate art.
No, I just, to me, it's not the same. But if I'm going to have something mounted, it needs to be that something. I don't want some fake thing to represent. Because the whole point of a mount is it's like, there he is. There's part of him. And me and him went to war. And this is what, blah, blah, blah.
And he lost, dummy.
Ryan makes
it. So when you take him, scrape off some of the slime and you can put that on it. There it is. There's part of him.
Yeah. Is that what you use as cologne? Moving on. So then after that, we are going to we already referred to it, but we did a podcast with Ted Nugent. Mm-hmm. And on it, he invited us because I kind of invited ourselves to the Camp for Kids on October 5th, and it's in South Dakota. So we're going to be filming and helping with the Camp for Kids October 5th. Sounds like we're probably going to the NRA dinner the night before, too, with Ted Nugent.
That's cool.
He's playing there?
He's
Just
doing
the-
the Star Spangled Banner.
Yes, which is why I think that would be cool for our premiere stuff. But yeah, so we're going to that with him, and we're also going to film the Camp for Kids, have a campfire with Ted Nugent. It'll be pretty cool to hang out with him.
Really cool.
We're also going to be filming a fishing episode because the Missouri River's right there. No clue what we're going to go for yet, but we're going to fish while we're there.
We're going to figure it out.
Figure it out. Mm-hmm. I don't know why I said it like
What about
that.
pheasant?
Yeah, what's going on with that? We were supposed to pheasant out in South Dakota.
I've gotten 3 out of the 4 places that I reached out to have shown interest.
Okay.
I sent them
Always be closing. ABCs.
stuff, the sizzle reel, all the a couple things for them to understand what they're getting, what we're looking for.
Yeah.
And they all had a business partner or something that they have to talk to, so I'm going to follow up with them all.
Can we take the puppy?
That's interesting. Maisie?
Yeah, let's just take
I don't
Maisie with
know
us.
how well she'll perform.
How's she doing?
Pretty good. She's picking up on things. She's in her terrible twos right now, where she just kind of is like, she knows what things mean, and she knows what you want from her, but she won't do it.
two months?
She's so cute though.
No, it's like
Dog ears too.
it's-
Stupid.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ryan.
Sorry, you're so offended.
So I mean, she's still kind of learning some commands, but for the most part, she knows what you're saying, but she's just choosing not to. So
Yeah.
you got to get the heavy hand out, make her yelp a few times.
What?
No, I'm just kidding.
It's like, I didn't know that was part of it. Wow, okay.
Occasionally it is, just because German Shorthairs are so hard-headed. You just have to like get their attention quick somehow. To be
Their
like,
stubbornness is good, but you got to aim it right.
yes, correct. You have to get them to. It's like when someone starts a new job, they start the job and they don't really know what they're doing. They're still learning the ropes, and someone's like guiding them in the right direction. Oh, you're doing this. Well, go this way. And so you kind of do it as patiently as possible until you understand.
Maybe you should try our approach. On our team, if you mess up, you get made fun of into an oblivion.
That's
scene
true.
after it again.
For some reason, when you start yelling insults at her, she just kind of like turns her head a little bit. She doesn't really understand it. So
I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were such a snowflake. Get up and
But she's coming along.
yeah, she's doing good.
Yeah. Manage waterfowl will be the following episode. And we got in for the draws. The idea is the DNR manages these different waterfowl hot zones throughout Michigan. There's like 7 of them, and they're called the Wetland Wonders, and they're amazing. Some of the best duck hunting ever. It's flooded. It's flooded crops. There's a refuge. Everything that birds need on their migration south every year. And it also gives hunters a great opportunity, and you have to get in a lottery to even be able to hunt in an area.
which bugs me.
Why?
Because why isn't it set up like in Michigan? If you want to hunt for elk or bear, you're put in for a lottery. But if you don't get it, you get a point, and then the next year, with a point, you have more likelihood that you're going to get it over someone who has no points. So the longer you're in it and unsuccessful, the better off you'll be the following year, which makes sense.
Like
it gives
bear
everybody
hunting.
the opportunity to get an opportunity instead of maybe just they go their whole lives and don't get one because that's the luck of the draw.
It's probably a lot harder to do that with the duck because so many people are trying to get into that. So they just probably have to do it like that, the way they're doing it now.
I wonder what the numbers are, how many people try and get in the refuge hunts compared to how many people try and get into like the bear
I bet
tags.
that the number's insanely different.
I bet.
There's a lot more duck hunters. Oh yeah,
Yeah. Well, there's a lot more ducks too.
yeah. I'd say it'd be a significant number.
I just love duck hunting. It's the ultimate. So hopefully we get a draw and it doesn't turn out like
We're
it
just
has the
salty
last 3
about
years.
not getting a draw.
The next trip we're doing after that is we're going after raccoons and pheasants. The old 1-2 they call it. And basically we want to do a raccoon hunt. We've done it in the past. We did it back in season 2, but we enjoyed it so much and we're so much better now filming wise that we just think we can do a much more effective and better job than we did then in representing it well. It's an old pastime. And the reason why I really wanted to do it was this whole California banning of fur thing. I wanted to show that exists still, and also it's like a throwback to the old days. There's like not that many people raccoon hunt anymore.
That was just before me too, when you guys did that episode, right?
Yep.
So I never got to try it.
Yeah,
and you guys spoke highly of it, so I'm excited to try it.
It's a fun night.
It's a lot of fun.
It's
That's
a fun night. We had a good time.
Yeah, I've seen footage of it. look cool.
The dogs are great too. The ones we're going with, they're really, really good dogs. So we're doing that, and then we'll pheasant hunt during the day and kind of put a combination hunt together. Then we're going out to Washington. Now we're going to Washington to actually go hunting with Ryan's brother, who we talked about.
That's rich.
That's rich.
Yeah. So we talked about his dogs before on the podcast, and you had talked about, I always say the word wrong. And
Drafters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dratar? Yeah. And so he's got his dogs well trained, and then we're going out with a judge as well, someone that judges the Dratar competitions or whatever.
Well, yeah, so you have to become, your dog isn't born a Dratar. It has to be past pretty significant tests.
It's a certification.
Yes, it's certification. So, like, your dog has to meet, and even its name has to meet certain. Steve doesn't work for a name. Really? So my brother's
Paul. That's it.
My brother's dog's name is Zeno. Something. It has like a full name, and it has to meet.
Zeno?
Yeah, Zeno is the first name.
I'm only calling him by his surname while we're out there.
I don't know if he'll respond to that one very well.
You're probably not going to listen to me anyways.
But yeah, so my brother's buddy, who also judges these tests, has a Dratar, and he named a few other ones. It was the Dratar version of a German Shorthair, and then he has a German Shorthair, a Dratar, and a English Setter. Did he say?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
I think that's what he said.
To be clear, before we move on, you're going to call this dog Mr. Parks?
Yeah.
Is that what you're going to call him all the time?
Everybody looks. Ryan looks, Ryan's dad looks, Ryan's brother looks, and the dog looks.
I like that the dog knows and responds.
Yes. Yes, Kyle. Son. He calls me son. The dog calls me son.
Lad.
Yes, lad.
But we're going for chucker or quail, right?
Yeah, I heard
Combination. Whatever we
the bird
come
kicks
across
up
in
and
the
I hear
territory.
shoot.
Yeah.
But we're going in the mountains of Washington, and that'll be a pretty cool trip. We're driving into nowhere.
You ever been out there before?
Never.
It's
Never
really
been to the
cool
state.
terrain.
Yeah.
Really
I'm excited
cool.
about it. And there's some rare thing from Pakistan there too.
Chucker.
That's the chucker is?
Yeah, chuckers from Pakistan.
Oh, okay. I thought there was another bird he said.
Like pheasants.
Oh, he did bring
Pheasants
up one
are
more,
from
but he said it wasn't. I don't know if
It
it
would
was,
be rare if we saw it, but it was something we should
Was it
look.
some kind
Yeah.
of grouse?
I think it was.
I don't know.
Could be wrong. Anyhow, it's an upland game bird. But we're going upland game bird hunting in Washington. I'm very, very excited about it. And then right from that cold climate, that's November 1st. Then November 4th, we go right from that cold climate to Maui, Hawaii. Aloha! In order to target
So awesome.
axis deer, wild boar, and spear fishing on the reef.
I'm
spear gun
so
fishing.
excited for that.
What a weird packing clothes.
Way for Jeff to die.
Like, what a weird luggage situation we will have. To go
Oh,
from
I'm going over the
Washington
limit
to
for sure.
Hawaii,
I'll never
and
make
we're
that
going to be
bag
gone
limit.
for,
Yeah.
11 days? How do
you pack for that in 50 pounds?
I don't know.
Plus the guns.
Yeah.
So many guns.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think though we can only fly the shotguns to and then have your dad take the other one, take them home.
Yeah, we could do that.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's the plan. Then the other thing is getting all that meat back. We got to figure that out too.
Oh, that's a
Yeah,
nightmare.
that'll be expensive.
Axis deer, wild boar, and I'm not leaving without it. Nuh-uh. That fish.
What if you get
boar,
just a monster? What are you gonna get? What about that?
Well, a monster axis deer is like 120 pounds.
Okay,
You
but
mean
still,
the mount?
what if you just happen to get like a trophy deer?
Oh, I plan on getting an axis deer mounted fully.
Okay, cool.
100%.
The
Just
problem
wondering.
is you can't, the amount of say, so you got it, it's dead, and now you want to ship it back from Hawaii to your house. The amount of dry ice that's required to freeze it is you basically can't ship that amount.
There's a way to do it, and I think it involves Rich. There's a way to do it though.
Sure, but what you have to do is you have to get in good with your guide and be like, hey, I need to freeze this first.
Well, we're staying at a
Can you freeze
ranch.
it for me? And then, but see, we might be able to get enough dry ice to ship it to Rich, and then maybe he can freeze it.
No,
and then
no,
ship
it'll be
This is getting too involved.
It'll be
Yeah.
no one cares either.
It's elaborate.
It'll be frozen solid when we leave Hawaii. No problem. We have a million options there and almost none anywhere else.
What I'm excited for is when we go spearfishing. If we have enough time and I get to go spearfishing, I want to spearfish and I want to mount it.
Yeah.
With a hole in it? Yeah, but
With
it's
the
got to be
spear.
it's got to be
No,
that
I
fish.
just I like the idea of just mounting a fish, like taking the pictures of it and
Ryan, I signed the checks. I signed the checks. No, I think it would be cool to. Wouldn't it be cool to get a fish mounted with the hole in him?
No, with
with
the
it
spear
in it. That would be cool.
That would be cool. I agree with that.
Talk about tacky, though. You imagine us getting married one day and like having to try and explain that one to why the wife, like, why
Doesn't
that
matter.
should be on the wall.
Doesn't matter.
It
I'm
doesn't.
putting it on the wall.
Heavy hand, right, Ryan?
Can you imagine trying to paint around the spear, though? Like, that's weird.
We're not painting these fish. We're mounting the actual fish. I'm excited about the axis deer. There's so many there, and we'll talk about that more coming up when we get to the actual episodes themselves, and then obviously the wild boar. The wild boar is the only hunt that I don't know much about. I don't know what we're doing or how we're doing it. I don't really want... The knife is the way they always do it with dogs. I don't want to do that.
What?
I don't want to
They
do
kill
it.
them with knives?
Knives.
Oh, yeah. You they corner them, and for some reason the pig just stays there.
No, well, the dogs are
How do
holding
the
on.
dogs know how to use knives?
Such a
Good
dad
dog.
joke. What a dad joke.
But yeah, so the dogs surround the boar. The boar is just standing there like, everybody get away from me. And then you're supposed to come skipping up with a knife in your hand, and you just
Well, the dog...
stab it.
Wow, that's legit.
So,
Yeah.
sort of. So
Spears, they do also.
the
And
dogs will grab like an ear and a foot, and the pig's trying to spin around and get held down, but the dogs will kind of hold them to as much as
This
he
is
can.
barbaric.
You go in with a knife, and the actual way to do it is to stab into the heart. You stab into the side where the heart is, turn the knife, pull the knife out. And that's what does it.
Not a neck shot?
Before it
No.
overpowers the dogs and turns and
Yeah. And you got limited time or the dogs will get killed.
Yeah.
But they
Yeah.
wear like little vests to protect their organs, but they get jacked.
No, have you seen pictures of people getting cut by boar?
Yeah.
Because their teeth just get ground into razors.
Yeah.
It's
So I don't want to do that because that scene makes me uncomfortable.
yeah.
I like
I don't
my
know how that
arms.
would
I would
show
rather
on
shoot
camera
him.
too.
Right. There's been shows that have done it. Meat Eater's done it twice.
Yeah.
And then he did it once, and then he did it for Wild and Thin. But they got canceled, so take note. To me, I just don't.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
know.
Watch, that'll be what we do.
We have to do it. They're like,
Yeah.
no, you have to.
Well, I'm not even sure that that's not the case.
Yeah, no, like seriously.
Yeah, like no, that's how we do it. What else will we do?
Yeah.
Just like-
Okay. You get up behind it. Now, once you're on the pig,
Oh God.
We're riding them now?
they will buck. You need to. So we're like, what? No one. I think we need more insurance. I don't think-
We don't have enough insurance with it.
Oh, something I just thought of it. For the spearfishing, which in all seriousness, I am most excited about because that is on my top 5 things.
It was your
to do.
dad's too. I talked to him last night for a half hour.
You did?
Yeah, did he tell you?
He talked about the cabin thing.
Yeah, I talked to him for like a half hour last night.
I think I was already in bed.
Yeah.
You talked to Mr. Parks last night?
Yeah. I talked to
The
Mr.
dad of the dog.
I talked to Ryan, Rich, and Mr. Parks yesterday.
Okay.
Whole family.
Yeah.
Yeah, but seriously, I'm most excited about spearfishing, and we might have to study up on knowing our fish for Hawaii.
We'll definitely have to.
Yeah.
Which
So,
ones we're
question.
shooting. And I want to get to the point where we're like, because we're going to have 2 or 3 extra days.
That'd be awesome.
With that being said, I'd like what I envision is the 3 of us, AJ sitting on a beach drinking mojitos.
Pina coladas.
Yeah, for sure. AJ sitting on the beach and saying, "Go
With
get
his
him,
one
boys."
safari hat.
Yeah, and then we're
yeah.
with he's got like instead of suntan lotion they use the powder on the nose sometimes.
Just
like,
on the nose.
Yeah, you know how
Burnt everywhere else.
AJ's sitting out drinking his mojitos while we're in the water. He likes mojitos. That's why I keep saying it. We'll go and then we'll go out. I want to go out on our own and refish. The thing is, sharks are a serious thing.
Don't care.
I don't either, but I care. We're gonna do it, but I care. I don't want to say I
mean,
don't
if it
care.
happens, it happens. I'm not going to let that prevent me from
I don't
That's how we're
care.
gonna
my
go.
dream.
I don't care, but just out of the kindness of my heart, if we're gonna do like a coin flip or something for who goes first, I'll just give it to you guys. You guys can go first. I knew you guys are so excited about it
I
that
I'll
honestly,
fight a shark.
I'm actually going to talk to our gym and ask them about filming in the pool to practice for that.
Genesis?
yeah,
That'd be cool.
Because we don't know what we're doing, and you guys need to have practice of what it's like to try and film
under
underwater.
there.
It can't be the day one. It can't be the first time out
Yeah.
there.
No, that's true. And add in waves. There's current under there.
Yeah.
Like decent current.
Let's get step 1 down.
That's not the first thing we're doing when we're there, is it?
I have no idea.
Because if it isn't, we could just do it there.
I have no idea.
There's many pools. I think, at the place we're
You
staying.
like, yeah, oh, at the place we're staying, there's like, were you guys filming kids? No, we were not filming kids, I swear. We were just trying to film each other to practice. They're like, you sickos. AJ gets arrested. We're like, no, we weren't filming kids.
I don't know why AJ punched that guy. We were just...
What a sick joke. And then after that, we get home, and then we're white-tailed deer hunting in northern Michigan. So if that isn't a flip of climates, that's 14 episodes right there, and I think it's going to be our best season. That I really do think it's going to be.
It's going to have to be. We're going to Hawaii.
Right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to the Greenway Outdoors podcast. If you're listening to this on iTunes, Google Play, or Spotify, well, you're making a big mistake. Go to our YouTube page. Watch it there. You get to see our ugly faces while we talk about it as well. Our passive-aggressive jokes don't really land without seeing them live. So if you'd like to check it out on Thursday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the NRM Streamcast app, you can check it out there. Thanks so much for tuning in. Stay green.